Okay. I think we're ready to go. So,
Are we?
yes,
can start.
we're ready to go. Hi there. This is episode 7 of Chat with the Yes Men. Oh, we're so happy you're back. Right? 7. Episode 7. My goodness.
Episode 7.
Yes. So, hey,
Episode 7.
not too bad. Eh?
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking the sound of that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's late in the evening. It's getting dusk. We've
It
got
is.
the lighting switched up.
Right? Not mood lighting for sure.
It's not mood. We can do mood.
We could do mood. There's a
Do you wanna
dimmer
do
over
mood?
there, which is, yeah. But no. It'll make me fall asleep. I'm kind of tired right now.
We need to be on our game, old boy.
We do. We have to be here again. So. So how you doing, Simon?
I'm doing all right, man. You?
Fantastic. Better than I have been for quite a few of the recordings. Hey, we'll play a guessing game. Guess who has a job now?
Is it you?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. So that does help with my demeanor.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Allows you to come to a podcast dressed as a can of pop.
Exactly. Yes. That's why it was my celebratory Fanta shirt. See? Isn't that fantastic?
A most excellent beverage.
Right? And speaking of fantastic, my ex-wife listens to this podcast. And she points out that I use the word excellent and fantastic frequently on every podcast, kind of jokingly. And I promised I'd call that out on myself. And not only will I call it on myself, but on this episode, if you watch it on YouTube, there's going to be a counter at the bottom. Each time I say fantastic or excellent, no, bing, it's going to go up.
And add in the comments
Yes.
how many times Jason says excellent.
Right? Isn't that fantastic and excellent? So now we have a couple on the scoreboard already.
Well, absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, that's phenomenal, right? And if I start using other words, you see, now I'm thinking that I'll overthink it and not use the words. And then if other words start to get bumped up, then I'll add a counter at the bottom as well. So,
But kind of to your ex-wife's point,
yeah.
I picked up on this
Oh, the
when we
face
first
touching.
started. So I'm kind of like, so I'm sat here now thinking, don't touch your face.
Don't touch
like
your face.
I've got a pen.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a pen. That's fine. And
I think it's a Saturday Night Live skit, Will Ferrell or something. He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
yes.
Like, he's on camera. It's like, it was funny as hell. Yeah, something along those. Yeah, I get it.
And we
Yeah.
need to discuss that you've fallen out of sequence with the toque and
That's correct.
no toque.
That's right. I was
This is the
alternating
third time
toques
on
and
the
no
run.
toque, and I'm too damn cold to play this game today. I'm just cold. I'm cold, man.
We've got the air conditioning is cranked, ladies and gentlemen. We're at 23 degrees in here,
Bloody hell! And I'm 24.
and
degrees. So barely above
and
room
apparently we
temperature.
are not at Jason's optimum
No.
operational temperature.
No. Yeah, I'm a cold. My body has not become used to. Well, I'm lesser weight than I used to be, and it hasn't gotten used to the fact I started shaving my head 2 years ago. I thought, how can a little bit of hair, and I barely had hair.
It makes a difference.
Yeah. How could a little bit of hair actually like make my a lot?
Yep.
Yes. So
If anything, out of taking all of the 3 sciences, I do remember the biology and the physicality of being in sport as well. Everything through the top of your head.
crazy, isn't it? But that's okay. I'd much rather be cold trying to get warm than hot trying to cool down.
Yes.
Mhm.
What's your preference?
Yeah, so what's your preference? Leave a comment below. Speaking of comments, we had a comment from no, okay. We can't just jump into comments.
Just jump into it. We've got a
Right?
structure here.
We have a
need to
structure.
talk about
We always have to-
sponsors. We need to talk about.
Yes, sponsors first. Let me get my sponsor page because I never have it memorized, and I should. I'm sorry, sponsors. So before we get any further, we'd like to thank our sponsors, of course, Tanakra for most of this gear here, at least like 95% of it. Not the toque, though. I bought that with my own money. Anyway, Tanakra is a Calgary headquartered tech company specializing in custom software development and M365 solutions. And Bellcat. Bellcat is a strategy-driven marketing agency marrying traditional marketing channels with technology. Thank you, Bellcat. Thank you, Tanakra. And
Thank you very much. And then we have Pink Weasel
that coffee.
coffee.
Right.
We've got a Yes Men blend coming.
Yes, we have what Yes Men blend.
We do have.
I can't even say the
That's
word.
easier. Right? You try and say that
Yeah,
quickly.
Right? Peter Piper picked a peck of Pink Weasel coffee.
Pink Weasel coffee. See?
It's pretty good, actually.
Waxing lyrically
Not
now.
bad, right? Yes.
Span Expander for keeping us stylish.
Yes.
And TEEMA Solutions for client services and staff augmentation needs across the city, across Canada, in fact, across North America.
Thanks,
So
TEEMA.
we have a huge footprint across North America. So it's
yes.
exciting times. Thank you to all of those folks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Platform for, again, letting us
Giving
record
us a venue. Giving us a venue, giving us a home.
That's right.
Place to be.
And right across from that new fancy library here in Calgary. Right?
I like that. Have you been in there much?
Yeah, well, a couple
I
of
like
times.
it. Like architecturally speaking, I like that. It's a nice looking
I
building.
love the wood everywhere. I'm a huge fan of wood being introduced back into architecture.
Yep.
Maybe not for structural reasons as much nowadays, but for,
Well, and we haven't got a much,
sure.
architecturally speaking, we haven't got much old, where they marry the old existing building to modern architecture.
Yeah.
So you've kind of got the old stuff that was built 100 years ago, and then there's the additions to it. We haven't got much of that, but I do like the look of that type of stuff.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Keeps the character, doesn't it?
I agree. That's one thing I find. I'm sorry, Calgary, but I find sometimes there's a bit too much of a rush to get rid of the old.
Too much of a rush.
Yeah.
Way too much of a rush to get rid of the old.
Yeah, and sometimes here's what I've learned. This is my internationalism coming out. When I lived in England, I found that they would, if it was over 5 years old and it's a parking lot, even if it's a parking lot, it's like, oh, historical site, can't touch it. Like it felt like it was almost too much of keeping certain things.
If you don't know your past, understand your past, respect your history, then it makes building a better future harder.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought this as a kid that was a bit too much on that side of the spectrum, whereas Calgary is the opposite side, where it's like, don't care, tear it down, doesn't matter. There's no history to it now. Well, there isn't. You didn't let it stand long enough to have a history.
Well, obviously you remember the old Girder box bridge, the old box bridge in Inglewood?
Yeah.
Just as you enter into that?
Yeah. Oh,
when they were upgrading that, I was like, oh, no, keep it.
Yeah.
Like, at least keep it and turn it into a cycle path or something along those lines.
Right, yeah. Maybe it couldn't hold cars anymore, but it could hold people and bikes.
Yes,
right?
And then they teared it down. Now, they've been respectful in terms of what the city has replaced it with.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
keep the old, but maybe if we didn't build it right in the first place,
fair
then
enough.
there's a case to tear it down, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's too bad. Hey, before we get any further as well, don't forget that you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Podbean, which is kind of where it's all hosted.
It's still my favorite, iHeartRadio.
Right, we're in the big leagues
Coming
now.
to you live.
That's right.
iHeartRadio.
365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. iHeartRadio. Chat with the S-Men. Anyway,
just brilliant.
Right? So, have a voice for radio, not a face for.
Not a face for radio.
Yeah, right. And don't forget, you can also follow us on a few of the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and of course, kind of a double whammy as well, YouTube. Please like us, subscribe to us, click on the bell notification icon, and leave comments below. All of the stuff helps. The more you engage with the YouTube channel, the more that we get shown to prospective new listeners, and we just keep the snowball rolling. Yep. So
give us a like. It's that's important.
Exactly.
Which brings us nicely on to talk us through our numbers then, Jace, for episode 6.
Fair enough. So episode 6 right now is sitting at a pretty. Where's that thing again? Right. Episode 6 is sitting at 64 views after being online for a week now. No, not even a week.
Not even a week.
Right. So we're catching up. Each episode seems to catch up with its previous numbers faster. What am I trying to say here? It catches up to its predecessor episode faster now with each episode. So it's working. And each episode does get more views than the one before. I think our highest was episode 1 because still new. Yeah, it's our first one, and we had a lot of people going, "Who are these crazy people?"
I get the feeling episode 6, based on the feedback so I've either been text, what I've seen on Instagram, what I've seen on messages, Facebook Messenger, and that kind of stuff. I get the distinct impression that episode 6 hit a chord for a lot of people.
Okay, that's cool.
because my sister responded like within seconds. She was
Nice.
like, "Are you okay, bro?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She's like, "Well, you looked vulnerable," and I was like, "Well, that was kind of the part of the episode 6 was very vulnerable for both of us, because we were talking about the soup for the soul and how you maintain a stance of consistently and constantly in a position of support,
Right.
as you know, whatever that means, from leadership at home, whatever that kind of means.
Right.
And then she raised a good point, which was, well, you don't have to be Super Simon 365 days of the year.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a day off.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. But back to you, when for that period of time, that comment, and she's not wrong.
No.
But at that period of time, it would have been the wrong thing for you to hear at any point.
That's right.
It's like, no, I can't.
I
need luxury. To get this done, and then I can chill.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the other comment I got, which was on text, was somebody again I've known for a long time in the city, was complimentary about the kind of the way that you and I jive on these things.
Nice.
And also our topics, very topical, getting right to retire, which is again segues into episode 7. We'll tell you the title of that in a second.
Yes, wait for it.
And all of that kind of stuff, and complimentary to what yourself. So it turns out that your dad, unbeknown to him, is starting to become quite a bit of a hero.
I guess so. Yeah.
Something to Jason's dad.
All right. I'll let you guys know he's doing better. Still not 100% sure where things are going, but better than before. Didn't look good up until coming up into the new year at all. So,
which is
So
thank you to the medical staff for doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
Hopefully
exactly.
they're not giving him.
So we'll see what happens. Right now we're
not get into the diet, because that upsets Jason.
Yeah, don't get me started on the diet. But it really comes down to right now is just continue, and hopefully continues on the mend. But he's going to have to pick up his side of the deal too, and fight as well to get better as well. So that's kind of where it's at. The ball is kind of half in his court, half in the waiting to see what happens court as well, right? Yeah,
well,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
But have we got any comments from episode 5?
We do actually. Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
The beautiful man Ben.
Yeah.
So he rides around the city in number 1. He's a project manager here in the Calgary
fantastic.
Calgary
Ben,
technical.
Thanks for listening.
Place. Industry, and rides his bike. So I'm not shared a bike ride with Ben yet, but typically he'll have donuts. So his gear's got donuts on it.
Oh, nice, fantastic.
So he likes
right on, Ben.
He likes donuts and food. Does
Nice.
Ben?
So do I. You could probably tell by the spare tire on me, and I haven't had a donut for a while.
We've not had any mango donuts yet.
Oh, right, mango donuts. You know, every episode is tagged with mango donuts on social media.
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
But I found so viewers, I found a certain confectionery stand.
Please share.
That has an acceptable.
Please, Simon.
An acceptable mango chocolate.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Oh dear. With some papadoms or samosas.
Yeah, well, no, not
or just for a reason.
Just chocolate.
Oh, chocolate. Okay, sorry.
Just chocolate.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
In my
mango
local.
chutney for some reason.
No, because mango chutney with poppadoms is just
right. Okay, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
come
right. On. Yeah. Come on now. That's a food group all in itself. You got your greens.
Is this good for me? Yeah. That is not the conversation
right.
to bring to this table.
Fruit and veg. Got your mango chutney and poppadoms. Oh, I get it. Anyway, sorry. Ben said.
Yes.
On episode 5 was a great episode. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Jason one day yet, but I do know both Simon and Chris, and it's always a pleasure to hear one or both spin yarns over a good cup. So,
thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Right.
He's a flipping beautiful. He's a beautiful human being.
Yeah, nice, fantastic.
It's yeah.
I'll meet one day.
One day.
Yeah.
But holy smokes, life's put him through the ringer as well, right?
Oh bugger! Fun stuff.
So what is episode 7 then?
I have no idea. You're the one with the papers.
Okay.
I'm just riffing off this guy. I don't know. I'm comedic relief. He says important things, and I'm like here pulling my thumb off.
So, episode 7, we're going to talk about the pursuit of wealth and happiness.
Oh, exciting. Ish.
It's pretty exhausting as well, though, isn't it?
We'll
try and make it serious because I think in the relevance to society is life is just difficult at the minute.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we've got to, and it is kind of relevant to what we're about to talk about. But the last couple of weeks, Calgary's gone into its usual winter Arctic type cycle of minus 40 and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, has it been cold? I hadn't noticed.
No, mate. Do you know what?
Bloody.
Like even the dog, who I'm sure she was born North Saskatchewan, close to the Northern Territories. I opened the door for her to go outside one morning, and even she looked outside and went, "Not going out in that."
Not going to happen.
So I'm like, wow. And we're talking about an animal that will go out and, like, when I'm shoveling, she will bury herself into the snowbank. Then I'm like, you've got to be some kind of. But that's
fantastic.
That's kind of what she does.
Love it.
So yeah, we're going to talk about wealth and happiness, and I've just put my a few little caveats to kind of get us kind of moving here. So happiness is a constant, which I think you said that happiness is a constant, or so on the happiness side is a constant sacrifice and reward, so that it keeps, moving on, because it's not a finite kind of thing where you kind of go, yeah, I'm happy now.
Definitely not.
And then, and the other things that keep popping into my head, a person who is okay with being alone is a powerful person.
Fair enough.
Because that can link back into the wealth and the happiness. And then we've got a bunch of notes. So let's start ourselves off.
Sounds good.
The biggest question is, what is the pursuit of happiness, and where does wealth fit into it? Work to live, never live to work. What is wealth? Is it subjective or situational? What is happiness? Is it subjective or single or one single thing? Or is it subjective to a multitude of things more than just keeping a smile on one's face?
Well. This is kind of funny because I was just listening to the podcast Diary of a CEO.
Yep.
We're both familiar with that. And the latest episode I was listening to, specifically, which one is it?
It was the ones before me, because the one that I'm all...
Yes, Dr. Robert
now.
Waldinger. Talking about the number one happiness expert. And one of the things that so rang true when it came to happiness is, and I can identify with this now with some age and experience, is that happiness is usually people think it's a feeling, but it's not specifically a feeling.
No.
It's also not an end goal. I can't remember the exact terminology used, but something about the finish line fallacy or something along those lines, right? The idea that
similar to Cynic, the infinite and infinite game.
Yeah, the idea that if you did this and you did all this, you'd be happy. Like for me, I've always had a battle with my weight. So if I got to myself my nice 6-pack, the world's going to be way more awesome. And then you find out when you hit that you're not as happy. And it's not that the end goal isn't making you happy or isn't what you wanted. It's that it's actually where you get happiness is the progress towards that. It's the I stood in the scale and I lost a pound this week. And next week you lose another 2 and then another 1. That's what's making you happy. It's not getting to the end goal. It's not being at the end goal. It's the journey towards the end goal, because that's
process then, or is that the wrong word to use?
Yeah. And
the journey.
Yeah.
Rather than the destination.
Right. And one of the things he says is somebody may think that having $1 billion would make them happy, or $1 million would make them happy. But then what's the first thing that most people who get that $1 million think? Well, I would like another million. It's a constantly moving target.
Well, there's a couple of references there. So again, going back to both of our favorite podcasts, one of the guests was Thierry Henry.
Okay, yeah.
Famous footballer, French footballer, and they were talking about happiness. There was a happiness part of it, and he actually said that now he's stopped playing. When he looks back at it, he wasn't really happy. Like people were kind of giving him all the plaudits of like, well, you've just won the World Cup, or you've just the way that you played and the things that you do, and he was kind of like, no, that was. So then he described his mindset. He said at that level, it's all about performance. So he's evaluating constantly and all of that kind of stuff. And it's only now he's retired that he's starting to process and start to feel the feeling his feels.
Right. Yeah.
Associating to happiness.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to this because another person that I know of that I've seen is a book actually. We'll have this book at home, and it's Solve for Happy by Mo Gawdat. So Mo Gawdat was the AI creator at Google.
Yeah.
That individual.
Yeah.
And again, same as our podcast, he basically says that it was never about wealth. Like he had the wealth, he had the career, had the family, and this kind of stuff. But he regales a time when he had like a 6-car garage, and he just picked one of his cars and thought to himself, well, if I get that car in a different colour, and this was a brand new car already, he'd had it like a few weeks, months, whatever. Yeah. If I get that same car in a different trim level, in a different colour, and blah 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 blah, and he talks about how he was trying to use material wealth, possessions even, to kind of create his own happiness from it. Yeah. To now that he's retired from his main job and that terrible thing with his son passing and all of that kind of stuff. Now he gets the pleasure out of walking around, and the wealth is still there, right?
Yeah.
But he now walks around in a $10 t-shirt. It's a $10 t-shirt, and he feels a lot happy because he's kind of let that go. Kind of what you were saying. Well, I've got 1 million. I'm going to be even more happy if I've got 2 million, and if I get 3 million, I'm going to be really happy. And it's like, well, no, not really, because now we've got enough psychology reviews going on that and Thierry Henry says this as well. He said he knows a lot of really, really wealthy people, really, really wealthy people that are also the most unhappiest people on the planet.
I did listen to part of that podcast. I didn't get
Mo Gawdat says the same.
Yeah.
And he says the same.
Yeah.
So that is, and I think that's why you and I agreed to kind of chat about this, because it's
oh my God.
the happiness is, and it's funny that in one of my client meetings this week, we talked about this, and he summed it up this way. He said, I can remember when I got to a level when his income got to a level where bills were paid, and then he had leftover money. Yeah. That we both summed up with, all of a sudden, if one of the kids came downstairs and said, Dad, can we have an A&W? Yeah. A&W's... I like A&W. I got a weak spot for A&W. Goodness, yes. Burgers, fries, root beer.
Mozza.
Anyway. The Mozza burger.
Stop it.
I'm trying to say stop. Focus.
I'm like all keto right now. I can't do that. No, I'm not going to do a lettuce wrap. It's not the same. When it's not in bread, it's not the same.
It's not. But basically, he said when you got to that point when the kids said, hey, can we go to A&W? And you don't immediately respond with, where's that money coming from for that A&W? Yeah. He said that was a feeling of wealth. Yeah. Yeah. Because then you're not panicking. Yeah. So, and to me, that resonated directly, because it's like, okay, then that's happiness, because then you're providing for your family. You're not panicking. You know that the finances are there. Yeah. You're not raiding the kids' piggy banks. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. And there's and Joe will remember this, but we, as a family, I remember doing that in the UK, early on. Yeah. It's like, what are we doing tonight? Well, we haven't got any food, so we need to go to the chippy. Yeah. Where's your piggy bank, son? Yeah. Like rooting through, right? Rooting through the piggy banks to get some money to go to the chippy.
Oh, I remember getting a bag of chips for 50p. I'm that old. Any of you UK listeners, like 50 pence, shut
50p.
up.
I remember when it went up up to £1.
Oh, wow.
And there was kind of uproar. But I will still say, and my wife will back me up on this, you haven't lived, and I think I've told you this as well, you haven't lived if you're not eating a bag of chips at 3 o'clock in the morning, already nursing a hangover.
With exactly half of the bottle of malt vinegar poured on top.
Yes. Oh, well, no, for Joe it was curry sauce.
Okay, fair enough. I'll accept that. That's
sauce.
very good. Yeah, very good.
And then we got into the Donair. So chips and Donair.
Oh, bloody hell!
Wake up in the morning with some crispy lettuce stuck to your side of your face.
I'm getting all excited here.
but again, it's a very crude conversation around.
Where were we? Sorry, my brain's all chips right now.
Well, didn't have money, had money, a little bit of leftover, can afford food, which again comes back to that society at the moment, isn't it? It's like people are getting stressed. I think we hit record numbers at the Calgary Food Bank, did we not?
Yeah.
It's like if we've got a society that's struggling to feed and water themselves, then that's a problem. And why are not more alarm bells going off? Because then, going back to what we're talking about now, we've got a problem with wealth. Yeah. And in that state, we're talking about wealth as in rudimentary wealth. Yeah. We're not talking about speedboats and...
No, exactly.
Speedboats and everything else. Right. Wealth is... Can I afford clothes on my back? Right. Food in my belly?
And it's amazing how that can run away from you too. Like you get a job at a certain pay level and perhaps your extra curricular money, shall we say, when you start your career may be quite good because you don't have kids or a house to deal with. But let's just say go down the path where you're just getting raises at usual raise level, inflation levels, but then everything goes, especially after what happened with the pandemic, everything just goes flying up. And you start rethinking everything. Like I was a coffee snob, not right. Maybe not a coffee snob, but I used to...
I know what you mean.
Definitely wanted my...
happy to spend $10 on a coffee.
Yeah. Ooh. Hold on. Let's make sure it's still recording. It is. Okay, sorry.
It is?
Yeah. I have touched my computer or it goes to sleep and turns off the camera.
You're not throwing cameras on the floor again,
no,
are you?
Not this time. Just very careful. Yeah, so I one of my creature comforts in life is get a good bean coffee and grind it right before brewing. Yes. I'm a very big believer that coffee does taste better if you grind right before brewing. Yes. But the way the prices went up, I'm like, and we're down to Maxwell House. $8 a tin. Like that's a luxury I can't afford. Like everything's gone up so much. I'm not saying it was that was breaking the bank, but it's all those small little death by 1,000 cuts when it came to the pricing of food lately. It's like, a chicken breast will never be bought again at those prices. I've just refused to. $6 per chicken breast. Like you get a 10 pack or
there's got to be different ways.
Yeah, it's drumsticks all the way, baby.
Which coming back to the wealth part. In fact, no, it's a side issue, so it might be a bit of a rabbit warren. But you can kind of see the fact that to eat cleanly and healthily requires a lot of wealth. Like it requires a lot of money.
That's part of the obesity epidemic in North America wide.
Correct. Yeah. And then you look at an NW menu and go, well, okay then. Yeah. Right. Because that's more attainable. Than real food. Then that then becomes the problem.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I do, because I have encountered many people, family, friends, the whole lot, that part of the problem. With eating healthy as well is, I mean, this is the nicest way possible, but laziness. Yes. You're just unwilling to actually prepare that damn meal.
Just cook and get in the kitchen.
Yes. It's okay. It doesn't have to be in a package. You can cut your own watermelon and save a hell of a lot more money. It floors me that even exists at Safeway and stuff where you have a thing of fruit and the actual dollar amount of fruit that you have there, maybe $5 worth of fruit, but it's chopped up and they charge $10. Yes. Just buy the goddamn watermelon and cut it. I'll show you how to use a knife. Like I don't.
And I look, and we've got a very, very cool knife shop in Inglewood.
Yeah, fair enough. I've seen that place. Yeah.
Have you been in?
Once. Yeah. Yeah.
It's next to the barber shop.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
Nice. But once you're in the
once
you're in the kitchen and you're doing that though, it's rewarding.
Yes.
And then it's happy. You're into happiness because it's I don't know, call it primal instinct or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like what are you doing? And it can be something that you don't even have to make the dough for this, but you can make your own pizza.
Yeah,
it feeds happiness because it's rudimentary.
Yes,
rudimentary.
It's and it's part of why I love my gift to my family is the Christmas dinner. I have worked very hard to make us me and my children not an object craving consumer family. They get money for Christmas so that they can do what they want. If they want to buy something or they want to pay for an experience with friends, they can do it. It gives them the freedom to do that stuff.
Do not like how we've made Christmas so commercial.
And my gift is making the meal.
Yes.
All day long, just to watch them go in less than 10 minutes. But that's okay. That's what I want.
Yep.
And that's the reward for.
We did that over Christmas. So we're in January now, folks. A very happy new year to everybody.
Oh, that's right. It's the first episode of 2024 recording.
First episode of 2024.
That's right.
But over Christmas, that's what our dear friend did. She turned up and spent kind of all day prepping and all that kind of stuff. And then Adam, her partner, turned up at just after 6 o'clock and huge feast, turkey out of the oven.
Yeah.
All of that kind of fun stuff. But it was just awesome, right? Because you're in there, you're prepping. We've got the board games going on and things like that. Yep. But the commercial side of it, which you alluded to, has gone away because again that all affects the wealth because we're kind of driven as a society to achieve wealth, so that we can then put back into something. I.e., if we've got a Christmas tree with 1 million presents underneath it, then that's happiness. Yeah, it's like it's not really. No.
Clutter makes me unhappy.
It's not the clutter, but the wealth should drive. And I'm talking about any wealth. The wealth should drive experience and feeling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it should motivate as well. Like, can you remember when you got to a stage where bills were paid and then you had a little bit left over? Yeah. And how did it make you feel? Just like that guy in the Diary of a CEO podcast, it's you'll feel good for a bit and that just disappears. Like you get used to it. The human, that was also the thing is mentioned, is that the idea is that if you get this certain thing, then you'll be happy forever. But our brains are not built to ever be happy forever with something. There's always the next thing. And so yeah, I experienced that 100%. Yeah, I've had we're just making paychecks and then pay for bills and then a little bit of extra. And what does Jason do when he has a little bit of extra? He sometimes bites off more than he can chew by purchasing something. Stupid. And I've these are all life lessons, and I'll share them. Not too much detail, but I'm getting better at it. Definitely as I get older, I'm getting better at it and not doing those things. Trying to not do those things. Back to that quote that I read: "The person who is okay with being alone is a powerful person." Yeah. You get used to that kind of like. Yeah. And being alone doesn't mean that you are figuratively on your own. What I mean by that is you've had the journey, you've taken the journey, and it's like, yeah. Because being alone can also be meaning that you're not part of the main crowd, i.e. part of everybody that's running to the local phone shop to get the latest and greatest phone. Oh my God, yeah. The phone that is recording this right now, it's an iPhone 13. Hi, iPhone 13. That was a purchased outright. First time ever, because I'm tired of doing the rat race with phones as well. That was a conscious decision. I'm going to buy a phone, get the bare minimum plan, because I don't need all that stuff. I don't need to have a gazillion megabytes of I don't need to get a new phone, and I'm going to see how many years that thing lasts. So blows. That'll be good. Yeah, it's an experiment. I want to see how long it can go before somebody goes, "Granddad, replace your effing phone." Well, on the Androids they just stop updating. Oh yeah, fair enough. Like so Daisy has a hand-me-down. Yeah. Which is going to get tougher and tougher to do because Joe and I, took a plan where we renew every 2 years. Yeah. So she's got a Note 10,
Mhm.
and it stops updating. Like the apps stop working.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that we can't download onto her phone.
And that's when
We've still got the safety measures.
Yeah.
Like in terms of knowing where we are and where she is and tracking her and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I've got to be honest, I kind of like that. I like that it doesn't update.
Yeah.
Because it means that at some point you just go,
Yeah.
phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
I need to do something else.
Well, that's part of also what I'm trying to teach my kids. One's an adult, one's almost an adult. Is I last year I purchased or I bought out the phone that they're on a plan with that I was paying for. I bought it out and I said, that's your final phone. Like that's it. You want a phone better than this? It's up to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a little bit of a life lesson on.
Well, no, because what you've taught there is that your kids now got to have a journey to wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Achievable wealth.
Yeah.
And attainable wealth to be able to afford. They've got to take the journey. Like if you want the gizmos, then you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the work, put in the effort.
Yeah. So I'm not paying for it anymore. Yeah.
Well, but there's something in here. So because as everybody knows that listens to us, we use Copilot a lot. So thank you for Copilot. So I asked them this question. So what is the perception of wealth? The perception of wealth is a subjective way that people understand and evaluate their own or others' economic status, assets, and income.
All right.
It is influenced by many factors such as personal values, goals, expectations, comparisons, cognitive bias, social norms.
Yes. Oh my God. That's
right?
exactly the comparison. Don't keep up with the Joneses.
Jason's got it. I need to have it.
Yeah, you'll never win because there's another Jones with more stuff that you don't have.
We'll have a different type of envy. So my envy of you is that you can pick up a guitar and do what you did. That when you're doing all this stuff,
Right.
and I'm like,
right. I envy you be able to do a bike ride longer than 20 minutes.
we're being kind of, but it's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
Okay, I can go longer than 20 minutes, guys. That's a joke.
Different people may have different definitions and measures of wealth, and they may not always match the objective or statistical reality. For example, some people may perceive themselves as richer or poorer. Again, I don't like that word. Than they actually are, and they have different opinions on who is wealthy and who is not.
Fair enough.
I would say, who the heck said this? But I'll sum it up with this way. Anyways, back in the UK, I had my time manual labour. So I worked with a buddy, had his own tree surgery company, arboreturalist, and I'm actually a qualified hedge layer, or I was. I think the qualification's gone over. But anyway, 14 hours a day throwing a ton of wood around, climbing up and down trees, chainsaws, dirt, dust, finishing that day probably not smelling very fragrant. Cuts on your hands, blisters on your hands, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But ask me if I came home happy.
I bet you did.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Did you have a good day, Dad? What did you do? But the simple fact of being able to point to it and say, that hedge is on me, and it's going to be there. So these are actual facts, ladies and gentlemen. Facts. So the style of a laid hedge that I did was Welch, which is a certain type of wood that you weave. So you put in what's called a gob at the bottom, and then you kind of lay a live tree. So it all lays in a horizontal way. And then you stake it, and then you weave it at the top, and then you trim it off. Okay. Now the style of Welch is finished, and I'm going all agriculture on you here, but there's one side that's finished for arable crop.
Yep.
And then there's the other side, which is brush. You lay it with a certain amount of brush, because that is laid for the cattle.
Okay.
At a certain distance so that the cattle can't reach over. So it's crop and farm management.
Nice.
The lifespan on that is 30 years. So there's all the stuff that I did 10 years ago, as people are still walking around going,
no kidding, guy.
Look at that.
Fantastic. Oh.
So again, happiness, the wealth, I had the wealth of well-being.
Yeah.
Did I receive financial compensation for doing that? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
But I would say the wealth was overweighed by the happiness of doing a job, looking at it.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Do you see where I'm kind of going with all of that?
Oh my goodness, yes. Job satisfaction. For me, it's actually where I struggle a lot in my chosen career. I mean, I do it. My current role is to really make it as basic as possible. Is I make stuff look good on a screen. Don't need to dumb it down
Which
that much.
is
Yeah,
hard to do.
Yeah, make sure things are in the right place. Make sure that they're easy to use on a phone or blah blah blah.
You're putting you into technology, Jace, which not everybody can do.
Fair enough, thank you. But one of the things it's neat for a while, but then I may never see it again, and that's difficult. And I'll tell you one of the proudest moments of my life, and it lasted for about 5 years. Is there's a bar I worked at when I was going through college, and I was the cook. I'd work. It was small enough that you can just have one cook, and I'd be there about 5 nights a week, just cooking steak sandwiches and wings and matzo sticks for people. But they wanted to change the name and refresh the sign. So I said, well, I love doing design stuff, so I designed their logo and their signage, and they did it all on the outside. I have photographs of it, like circa 1997. And that lasted for about 5 years. And that was like one of my proudest achievements. Exactly half an hour worth of work designing, but it was mine. And people would drive by and they'd see that all the time. The ability to
it's rewarding.
Create. Yeah.
It is rewarding.
Yeah.
I think I had a record, a cycling, it's called a time trial, which is basically 10 miles as fast as you can. And it was a local club that I rode for when I was early teens.
Yeah.
And I had the schoolboy 10-mile record that lasted just over 20 years, I think.
Oh wow, good job.
Which is kind of nice when that kind of thing. But again, you look at it, and again, there's somebody that I know in the cycling world that set a national record for doing 10 miles, and he did it on a standard bike.
Yeah. And
now in recent years, people are starting to better that record and all this kind of stuff. Wow. And it's like, but look at what you're beating the record on.
Yeah, right.
It's like, this is the difference between a biplane and
Yeah.
What he did it on was almost like the Wright brothers.
Yeah, fair enough.
What you're doing it on now is like space technology, you know?
Oh my goodness.
So, but again, it's the, I don't know, the perception of wealth.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Perception of wealth, because I think I am of the mindset that wealth is you achieve wealth from doing a good job, and that's what I achieve through TEEMA. Thank you very much. You know, and the work that I do with my clients is very fulfilling, and I love it. I like it. You know, I do because the people that I work with out there in the Calgary market and stuff, that like I love it. Like, we've got this, Simon. What can you do? Because you're asking me to be part of the solution, right? Yeah. And I'm like, let's get going.
Let's do this.
And then you get into that, and then we're back into the conversation of, I think I posted on this. I did a Simon Sinek post on LinkedIn about it, which is being compensated well for being really, really good at what you do. And I've always maintained that for a lot of if you want to be a business analyst, a project manager, a developer, a marketing developer, a UX designer, and all this kind of stuff, then there's no real, you need to progress. Yeah. But the progression should always be part of you being really, really great, and then with that comes the requisite compensation, and that's the when it gets difficult, because then you get to a certain stage of, well, you're fortunate enough to have be working for an organisation that will compensate you correctly, and or if you are that good, you then separate yourself and become recognised for being that UX director, UX designer, but you're standing on your own, right? Yeah,
fair enough. And you know. And job satisfaction has never been tied in with compensation.
No,
ever.
Nor me.
Yeah,
I think we'd both be millionaires if that was the case.
I've like I said, I worked in that place in the kitchen, and to go through a wing night at a bar in Calgary as the only cook cooking all the wings for the bazillions of people coming in for their beer and wings, and you handle it yourself. But by 11:30, you look at the kitchen that is now spotless and clean as you've walked away with a mop down the hallway, and it smells like bleach and all the other cleaning stuff, and you turn off that light. That's job satisfaction. I survived that night and I cleaned it all up.
Happiness.
Yeah. And I never got that when I worked at things like help desk. Like when I did a help desk, because there's no finish. I guess you could say each call could be finished, but there's not like an end of the day where you're like, we serviced everyone, because as I'm leaving my shift, the phone's still ringing for somebody else. Like, so it doesn't. Yeah. There's not that sense of.
There's no
end. And that's a problem.
No, which means then then you've got to accept the wins of. Mm-hmm. And I used to say this to my team. It's like, how's your day going? And I would always start the day with just find a win. Like, what's a win today? And a win would mean that we're achieving as a team and individually a spot in that day where we can feel happy about the outcome.
Yeah.
Have you got the answer? Yes, no. Because again, if it's a yes, then awesome. You get kind of an automatic high from that. Mm-hmm. If it's a no, then it's still a positive, because then if it's a no, then why is it a no? And then let's learn from it so we don't do it again.
Yeah, fair enough.
It all kind of correlates into playing the game of where we are now, of playing the infinite game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not the finite game.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Scott there, Simon. What does the paper say?
So I'm going to say, so this is another question I asked Copilot. Yeah. How does the perception of wealth vary across cultures and generations?
Oh, bloody hell.
Because this was something we were talking about before Christmas.
Right.
The perception of wealth is a subjective way that people understand and evaluate their own and others' economic status, assets, and income. It is influenced by many factors. It's repeating what it said up there. The perception of wealth can vary significantly across cultures and generations depending on the historical, social, and economic context of each group. For example, some cultures may value material wealth more than others, or have different standards of what constitutes wealth. Some generations may have experienced more economic hardship and prosperity than others, or have different expectations of future wealth. Some examples of how perception of wealth varies across cultures and generations. And then it goes on to say, okay, well, you've got this was a report written by Wells Fargo Investment Institute, baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I've got I want to touch on perception of wealth, because I've got a story of somebody that I know, again, in the cycling world, that he's an officer in the Calgary police force.
Okay, cool.
And there was a time when, so if there's a seizure of assets, then typically the police are called in to accompany the bailiffs. I don't think that's we're okay to say that. I think that's fact, and it's open knowledge. Like, the police go along to make sure that there's peace, and it's Yeah. And I know that there was a rise in and around our local where they turned up to a house. We're talking a 5-6 bedroom house, and Mercedes on the drive, and BMWs, and all of this kind of stuff. And he said to the owners, well, just, they're here to take the balance of what you owe. So grab what you actually own, and like, you can't fight it. Like, it's gone. Yeah. You've gone too far with this.
Oh my God! I can't
apparently, the individual stood there and all they had was the clothes on their back, and that was it. Everything else was on either a loan, credit card, something like that. So there, we're into an assumed wealth based on a perception of wealth, because we've built a perceived wealth through minimum payment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're into material wealth. It's like, well, look, I'm doing well. Look, I'm in a 6-bedroom house. It's like, yeah, but.
Right. And it's interesting, because actually I did almost experience that once.
Well, you're happy at that point can't be a happy. Yeah. Like, no. That's a depression at that point.
So the one that got me, and I'll tell you this because it's kind of funny, but I am not known for watching my bank account like a hawk. You may think he's obviously really on top of his money situation. You'd be wrong. So what would happen is I had a loan for a vehicle, and I just assumed money was coming out. But this bank had this weird policy of, I think they tried to take the money out once, and it wouldn't clear because it was like maybe pre-payday or something like that. Who knows what it was? Yep. So it didn't come out, but they didn't try again. They didn't notify either. And then they tried again, like, I can't remember what it was.
A week later,
or something, and maybe the money wasn't there or something along those lines. But there's no indication to anyone that, hey, you're behind your vehicle payment. And I didn't know. And then finally I'm getting a call from a bailiff saying, I need to know where you are. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no. I can move the money around. This is fine. But it was so funny. Like, it's just, we're going to try and take money out. Oh, no, they didn't. They didn't try again. That was the thing. They tried to take it out once in a weird moment where I didn't have the money in the account.
And then just flip
and then they're like,
and
the second it doesn't go once, they're like, well, we're not going to try again. You need to contact us and tell us. And I didn't know that was happening. So I went like 6 weeks without them notifying that I was late or something like that, or up to 2 months of non-payments. I don't know. I assumed it was coming out. I had no idea. So I'm like, guys, calm yourself. Like, don't bring the bailiff. Like, what can we do right now? Like, I'll write a check for you. But it was so funny. Like they tried once and then that's it. No more. Obviously, we couldn't get money once, so you're never going to pay us, and we're just going to get mad at you and destroy your credit, and then we'll get a bailiff at you. So.
I've got so much, and you're just making me remember the process of coming to Canada, because the personal wealth, i.e., what you're bringing, and health status of myself and my family was probably. Like, I've forgotten how many times they took blood out of me, and I've had to sit down and justify job, income, finances that I'm coming to Canada with, blah 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 blah. And it's like, oh my word,
bloody hell. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So, what is happiness?
Oh dear.
What's happiness to you, Jason?
Oh my goodness.
Happiness is a mild cigar.
There we go. Right.
What commercial is that?
I can't remember.
Hamlet. Hamlet.
Yeah, right. Bloody hell. I don't have that answer right now. For me right now, after kind of a turbulent few months there, happiness to me right now is the security of a job.
And I can see it in you.
Yeah, and it's not so much a happiness, but I need that baseline in order to do anything else.
It is.
Yeah.
I know. So why wouldn't you call it happiness?
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm unhappy with the job, but I guess thanks to that podcast I was listening to today on the way here, I'm starting to reassess what happiness really means. Like,
you're back on your diet.
Yeah.
You're back onto your.
It's more of a
fasting.
Yeah, it's more of a less worrying about the happiness, but less moments of unhappiness. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I guess. So I'm kind of I'm a lot less unhappy lately. Yeah, that may sound like a Eeyore kind of comment, but that's not what it means. It's like,
but that's okay. But that's okay, because that means that there's probably more positive thought. You're waking up in a more positive way. You're walking down the street in a more positive manner.
The universe knows too. Yeah, and today somebody just started texting me that I haven't heard from for a long time. It's just nice to be able to reconnect again.
Makes you happy.
Yeah, made me happy. There we go. Random text from friends. Thanks for checking in with me, people. That makes me happy. How about you, Simon? What makes you happy?
Similar to you.
Yeah.
I know how to me, 100%, well, not just to me, but to everybody, but it probably more on myself. Happiness is a feeling, the way that just the way that I feel. And and I know how to get to my happy.
Yeah.
As I've said on these podcasts before, right? My route to happiness my route to my happy is sometimes a detachment.
Yeah.
Can we just go and walk somewhere?
Yeah.
Joe, and just be.
That's
you know what I mean? Or get on a bike and all of that kind of stuff, because that gives me a mind reset that then helps my being find happy. And then I'm thinking better, I'm thinking clearer, I'm just doing better work, a better version of me showing up. So that's my happy. And then that drives, what that does then is makes You and I are having a better. We're having a better conversation. We're laughing more. We're giggling
Yeah,
more. We're all
yeah.
that kind of stuff, right? That's my version of happy.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
do you want to know what Copilot thinks happy is?
Please tell me what Copilot thinks.
Happiness is a complex and subjective state of well-being that can be influenced by many factors, such as emotions, life satisfaction, meaning, and purpose. I'm like, oh man.
Bloody hell.
I'm like, the average human's not going to know all of this, for crying out loud. What's the matter with you? Happiness can also have positive effects on physical health.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness, yes.
Don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Such as improving cardiovascular health, immune system, lifespan.
Yeah.
Happiness also can also be defined and measured in different ways, and it can vary across cultures and generations.
Oh my goodness,
There
yes.
is no one formula to achieving happiness, but some common strategies include practicing gratitude, self-care, compassion, optimism, and finding joy in small pleasures.
Wow.
Which is,
Yeah.
I'm like pretty much everything we're talking about, but
Yeah.
but again, that's the. I'm going to sound. It just sounds the way it's going to sound, but again, that's like if that's in an AI platform.
Yeah.
It's kind of like society again is trying too hard to find a box to put happiness into a category.
Yeah.
Do you qualify for happiness today?
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? Do you
At
qualify? Do you qualify for
2.9% OAC, right? Yeah. No.
Do you qualify for wealth?
Yeah,
Do
right.
you? One of the commercials in Calgary TV, and I hate it. And it's a wealth company.
Mhm.
Even if you've worked hard and earned over and saved over $1 million, we can help you with your retirement plan. I'm like,
Yeah. Wow.
are you going to assess my happy? Because I may have $1 million.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Am I going to invest it? No.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to use it. Like that's there while I'm working on my happy.
Yeah. Exactly.
So-
So maybe we can give some pointers on what we think that's how with happiness, what we could do to make ourselves happier and so on and so forth.
You mean yes men conclusions?
Yes, I have some. Of course I do.
Do you want me to start you off?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want me to start you off, Mr. Phantom Man?
Let's do it.
So maybe the answer is consistent approach to either and or both without getting overhauled with matrix type conversation, materialistic gains.
Oh, there we go. I like that.
I'd had too many coffees when I wrote that.
Fantastic. Always reassess yourself. What I thought happiness and wealth meant for me when I was younger is not what I'm thinking of now as I approach 50 this year. So reassess your goals. Don't
You're
get
50 this year?
Yeah, 50s this year. Yeah.
Joe's
Yeah.
50 this year.
Oh yeah. Oh, looking
I'm
forward
still
to it.
beating you both. I am 51 in a few weeks.
Well, the doctor said I'm going to see 100. Well, that was last year. A little
Dude,
bit.
that's on my target list. I'm
Yeah.
doing 100.
So I'm exactly middle aged now. Exactly. Right now. Right now.
Right now.
Yeah, now it's past. Now I'm in the second half of my life. So, all right. So, I have, apart from loving to record podcasts, I also watch far too many YouTube things about health, and especially when it comes to my world of I'm a keto nerd and proper eating and not just proper eating, but proper things to do in your life. I may not
Self-healing.
look like I follow them all, but I'm like 40 pounds lighter than I was like 5 years ago. So give me a break. So, happiness, not that it's a drug you can take, but there are certain things you can do to increase that, just physiologically, things have been proven to help with it. Get your ass outside. You don't have to run a marathon. Get outside, get that sun hitting your skin.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the morning sun, do it. It's just a walk, but get that sun on you. There's something about the vitamin D that it helps boost mood. Vitamin B as well. I can't remember where to get vitamin B through natural sources. I can't remember, but I take a little small tablet every few days or so for vitamin B. That helps. And this is easier said than done. Try to lessen the stress in your life. So when you have too much stress, you get higher cortisol levels, and the stress hormone cortisol. It's not good for you. So unhappy tends to be leveled up with stress as well, right? So, and that's not good for your health, and also can put on
Self-management then, isn't it?
could put a few pounds in you as well. Cortisol loves to make people fat It's a neat little
really?
thing. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's not good. People under higher stress will find it a lot harder to shed the pounds. So,
Okay.
yeah, so there we go. So do all those things, nice walking and sleep. Man, don't put yourself in sleep deficits. Don't burn the candle at both ends during the weekdays and then try to make up for it on the weekend. Try to have a regular sleep schedule all the time. It's better for your mental health, and when you have better mental health, you're going to be happier, regardless of the bad stuff that's happening or good stuff that's happening in your life. So look after yourselves.
Yeah, just do that. Do you know what my happy is for today? I was up at 6 o'clock and went straight outside and started shoveling.
Oh, I still have to shovel. Crap.
Sure.
Yeah.
Winter turned up, buddy. I don't know whether you're aware.
All right. Well, hopefully my kids surprise me in the
You're going to explain your T-shirt and...
Oh, I just like to stand out in a crowd. Just in case the guitar doesn't make me... just in case standing under lights in front of a whole bunch of people or going to karaoke and making sure I'm the hammiest act on stage. If that isn't attention enough, I also like to have really orange shirts.
You're just making me think of the Tangerine advert. I'm pretty certain the Tangerine adverts didn't come across here. So
yeah, I don't think so, no.
There was Fanta and Tangerine, which again was an orange drink, but the commercials were just hilarious. So
UK ads were great.
Well, it's and you can Google these on YouTube and stuff like that. But usually these adverts started off with Tony, let's do an action replay. And there's a guy stood on the corner with a can of Fanta or Tangerine, and then this guy that's orange, like he's literally orange, that depicts the taste hit that you get, and walks around and just kind of goes smack and just gives him a
nice. Oh, I love it.
It's just brilliant.
I'll be googling those afterwards. Just
brilliant stuff.
Yeah, fantastic.
But it's a nice one. But yeah, that's wealth and happiness. I don't think, like you said earlier on, I don't think you wake up and go, I have wealth and I have happiness.
Nope, not at all.
And then it stops. Nope. I think it's a...
Oh, it's a moving target. It is a moving target for the rest of your life. Kids.
Yes. You're not getting away from it, kids.
Yeah, That's
not getting away from it.
Just the way it is.
Get comfortable.
Exactly. Hey, I feel like I should probably shout out to our sponsors again at the end of the episode, like we generally do. But I closed my sponsor sheet, so I got to open it up again. Just keep them occupied. I'll click while I click around here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Spandex Panda. Thank you to Pig and Queasel.
That's right.
Thank you to TEEMA Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Tenacra. Thank you
to
to
Bellcat. That's correct. So I got it up
Platform.
just in time. That's right.
Thank you to everybody that's still...
Sorry. I got it up in time.
Thank you to everybody that continually chats with us, making us happy.
Thank you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, and put a comment down on the YouTube side of things. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Don't forget to follow us, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and you can get all of this fun stuff at chatwithyesmen.com.
Which will put you into Linktree.
Exactly, right? So all that fun stuff.
Don't forget iHeartRadio.
Don't forget about that. But yeah, I think that's an episode. So, hey, Simon, thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I was Jason Wiles, still am, and
I'm Simon Crouch.
Right.
Stay happy, everybody.
That's right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.